Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our next matchup for UFC 320. In this one, we have Farid Basharat versus Chris Gutierrez. Basharat is 13 and 0 as a professional, so he's 5 and 0 in his last 5 fights, while Chris Gutierrez is 22, 5 and 2 as a professional, 3 and 2 in his last 5 fights. This is one of the more fascinating matchups for me, in similar line with the Daniel Santos versus Joe Sang Yu fight. Apologies if I butchered it. It's an undefeated prospect, but the difference is Basharat at this point has been tested pretty well in the UFC. He's 4 and 0 in the promotion, with his 4 victories coming to Damon Blackshear, a submission over Kyler Rodriguez, Taylor Lapulus, and most recently at UFC 308 last October, Victor Hugo. For all of his skills, I would say Basharat for sure. Of the Basharat brothers, he's the better of the two. There's no debate on that. He's very well rounded. He's got a good set of skills all the way around. He seems to have leaned towards his wrestling more, especially in the Taylor Lapulus fight and Victor Hugo fight. You saw it. But Taylor Lapulus is a really good striker, so it makes sense to really stall him in the clinch and go for the takedowns much more than try and entertain the striking. While out wrestling Victor Hugo was very impressive, especially considering Hugo missed weight by 10 fucking pounds. So, it really says something to be able to out wrestle a bigger opponent like that. His striking is nothing to scoff at, too. He's got really good leg kicks. He's got good punching combinations. I can't say he hits with much power to him. He's not really a finisher per se. Well, I mean, he did get an arm triangle over Rodriguez, but that's his only finish so far in the UFC. But sometimes it doesn't really need. Sometimes you don't need finishes. You just need to be a high-level operator and win the decision, and that's what he does very well. Now, for this is easily the biggest test of his career, or certainly the most skilled opponent he's faced right now in Chris Gutierrez. Gutierrez was once a ranked contender, and even at one point was riding a pretty solid win streak. I think it was 8 fights, if I'm not mistaken, to get to the rankings. It's just, for the longest time, nobody really paid any mind because he's not the most entertaining fighter. He's a neutralizer at his core. I guess this is the first time I've ever really had to talk about a neutralizer on the channel, so this is the best way I can describe them. They take the fight out of the fight, essentially. A neutralizer's best quality is the ability to take aspects of their opponent's game, what they're best at, whether it's striking, wrestling, grappling, all that, and be able to take it away, whether that be stonewalling with takedown defense, wrestling to mess up the striking tempo, or top pressure to stall out the jiu-jitsu. It doesn't really matter. As long as your best aspects are taken away from you, then the B game, in which you have your game set, you're good at one thing, really good at one thing. Let's say that's the A game. Everything else is the B game. Chris Gutierrez essentially pulls you into the B game, and you're kind of left more or less a fish out of water. Until he started hitting some violence in him, most with one of them being the cold knockout of Frankie Yeager that it was still terrible to watch. But since then, of his last 5 fights, Pedro Munoz simply had more dog and out-wrestled him and made him kind of wilt a bit. Then he beats Elaton Haley to keep his ranking. Then he fights Song Yudong in 2023 in November, where it was honestly probably his worst showing, where he was just rolling for Imanari rolls and just didn't really seem to be in the fight as the fight went on. But now, most recently, on a 2-fight win streak, beat Kwang Lee last August. And then most recently, this April, beat John Castaneda. Granted, it was a close fight. The other aspect I would say, definitely with Chris Gutierrez's game, he's a master at using his reach and his leg kicks. His leg kicks in this bantamweight division are fucking vicious. He's very good at attacking the calf, very good at attacking the knee. He's got good teep kicks and able to shoot knees up the middle. Now, ironically enough, he is going to be taller by an inch, 5'9" for Gutierrez, while Basharat is 5'8". But he's going to give up a lot of reach. Basharat has a 71-inch reach, while Gutierrez is a 67. But I would say probably Gutierrez has, granted it's not a stat that I really can give you technical numbers on, But I could say Gutierrez's leg reach is very good. He can kick from a good distance away at the calf or the leg, or hell, even just body and head, and still be at a safe distance. He's very good at throwing the body kick, same side hand to plant and to keep opponents away. Granted, there's also better ways, like you just literally swing your arm horizontal to catch any blows, but you get my idea. He's really good at attacking with kicks and putting up traffic as to not get caught with something after the kick. Because once you reset after a kick, that's usually when you're vulnerable. And he's got pretty good anti-wrestling at times. It really depends who he fights. Because if he fights like Pedro Munoz, Song Yadong, one of these ranked contenders, they seemingly are able to out-grapple him a lot better. But then he fights guys like John Castaneda and... who am I thinking of off the top of my head? Elton Haley is not a wrestler. I can't really think of any high-level wrestlers he's fought besides the two I had mentioned who were ranked at one point. And I gotta think Farid Basharat should be able to do it. Now, like I said, this is gonna be a tough test. He's never fought anybody who's more willing to stay safe and stay consistent. He's never really fought anybody like that. Gutierrez will play at range and be safety first at all times. He does not take many risks. So it's going to be interesting to see how Farid Basharat will deal with that, as you would hope to see in a prospect like him that he would be able to create the openings. As they say, great fighters make advantages of opponents' take advantage of opponent's mistake, but best fighters make their opponent make mistakes. And that's the question. Can Farid Basharat make Chris Gutierrez make these mistakes that he will pay for? I think he can. I think Farid Basharat is so well-rounded right now that I really see him giving too much trouble for Gutierrez. Gutierrez, like I said, he wilts in fights at times. You've seen it. Song Yadong was easily the best example in that fight, where I still don't know what he was doing, complaining to the ref, yelling into the crowd. It seems like sometimes when he fights adversity, he just wilts and he just resets back to what he knows. You know, leg kick from distance, circling around the cage. I just don't think that's going to work with Basharat. Now, like I said, leg kicks are a big problem, but even then Basharat has his own set. It's not like he's not going to try and, train leg kicking defense. And I just see the wrestling being too much of a pivot that he can use to beat Gutierrez. Now, that being said, these odds are terrible. Minus 400. Actually, I think it's even more, like 420 last I've checked. For Basharat, minus 300 for Gutierrez. I don't know why the odds are this wide, if I'm being honest. Now, a 2-1 favorite, I can understand that. But a 4-1 favorite beat Gutierrez? I know I'm picking Basharat, but Gutierrez has fought pretty good competition. And he's still got a plethora of experience in him. I guess they're just really high on Farid Basharat, or the odds makers know a lot more than I do, I guess. But I'm going to go with Farid Basharat, and I think he's going to get the decision. I just see him, I wouldn't say cruising to a decision, but I definitely see him winning more minutes off the round than Gutierrez will. So I'm going to pick Farid Basharat, and I am going to go with a unanimous decision. With that being said, that's been my prediction for this matchup. If you like the video, comment and subscribe. I like hearing your thoughts and how you think this fight will go. Next up, we'll have Edmund Shabazian versus Andre Muniz. But with that being said, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. Thank you all for listening. Take care.